the podcaster Candace Owens. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But were any of them engaged in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Welcome back, folks, and buckle up. We're diving headfirst into one of the most bizarre and, frankly, unbelievable political sagas playing out right now in real time. The alleged assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's a story so wild, so riddled with inconsistencies, that it makes your average Hollywood thriller look like a documentary. We've got official narratives that defy logic, witnesses with questionable reactions, and theories flying around faster than the politicians changing their stance before an election. And at the heart of it all, a grieving widow, Erica Kirk, clashing publicly with Candace Owens, who decided she's going to be the Sherlock Holmes of this whole mess. The mainstream media, bless their hearts, are trying to tell us just believe the science, or in this case, believe the story. But when the story changes faster than the weather in California, and when the details make your head spin, it's our duty as critical thinkers to ask questions. Lots of them, because sometimes the truth isn't just stranger than fiction, it's actively being hidden by those who want you to shut up and comply. Let's get into it.
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely, I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover-up.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not.
Barry Weiss hosted Erica Kirk on a CBS Town Hall to address conspiracy theories surrounding her husband Charlie Kirk's assassination. She also directly addressed Candace Owens, the main perpetrator of those theories. Before we get to that, Jank, your 2 cents here.
As usual, this is super weird. No, the Charlie Kirk assassination is not simple at all. Wait till I tell you about the absurdities that the authorities are saying about Tyler Robinson and his clothes and where and how he changed his clothes. Barry Weiss, a massive Israel supporter, brings on Erica Kirk to tell everyone, remember, everybody shut up and don't question what the authorities are saying in this case. Yeah, that makes me question it 10,000 times more. Let's give you the facts first.
Whoa, wait 1 second, hold on a minute. Did you catch that? Remember, everybody shut up and don't question what the authorities are saying? That, my friends, is the golden rule of modern journalism, isn't it? Especially when it comes to anything that might challenge the official narrative, particularly if it's coming from someone with a right-leaning perspective. It's like we've got a secret handbook. Rule 1, if it smells fishy, tell everyone to stop sniffing. This isn't about whether you believe Candace Owens or Erica Kirk. This is about the fundamental right and, frankly, the necessity to ask questions when something doesn't add up. When someone in media, especially someone with a platform like Barry Weiss, steps in, not into investigation, but to police, though, and silence dissent, that's a huge red flag. It's like when your kid gets caught with her hand in a cookie jar and immediately shouts, "Don't look at me, it wasn't me." And anyone who asks, it's a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, okay, buddy. Think about it. Barry Weiss, known for his strong pro-Israel stance, which, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with this case, is suddenly the arbiter of truth for the Charlie Kirk assassination. Her role, as described, is to ensure no one thinks that it's anyone but Tyler Robinson. That's not journalism, that's damage control. That's narrative protection, and when the media takes on the role, it's not because they're protecting us from misinformation, it's because they're protecting a narrative from scrutiny. We've seen this playbook a million times. From weapons of mass destruction to Epstein killed himself. The establishment's favorite tactic is to declare something subtle or conspiracy theory the moment inconvenient questions arise. And what do? The common sense folks do is ask questions. The people that don't think, they just go with the herd. We question it more. It's a human nature. If you tell me not to look, I'm going to grab a flashlight and magnify glass. So when Barry Weiss, or anyone else from that matter, says, shut up and don't question, My immediate reaction is, why not? What are you so afraid of us finding out? Because if the truth is as clear as they claim, then robust questioning should only strengthen it, not threaten it. The fact that they feel the need to shut it down so aggressively tells you everything you need to know about the solidity and meaning behind the facts. We're not just going to sit here and be spoon-fed. We're going to chew our own food. Thank you very much. And it tastes like a cover-up, so we're going to spit it out.
Well, here is how Weiss framed her question.
There are a huge number of conspiracy theories, you might call them brain rot, that are spreading right now online about the actual story behind the reality. One, people say that Tyler Robinson was actually a MAGA Republican. Or two, some people say you were actually a Mossad agent sitting in front of me, and you were Charlie's handler, and Israel killed Charlie.
Right.
Other people say that a number of men in the crowd were wearing maroon T-shirts, and this signifies that his killing was an elite airborne operation, whatever that means. They say that the rings on your fingers, which are
My kids'
your kids' initials,
my wedding band, the Medal of Freedom, my engagement ring.
but apparently they symbolize some kind of secret plot. There's also a new theory that Egyptian aircraft have been tracking you.
Mhm.
What is going on? Why are there so many conspiracies spreading about what seems to be a pretty open and shut case?
Erica Kirk responded by saying that she fully believes that Tyler Robinson is the person who shot and killed her husband. She also wanted to pour cold water on allegations that there hasn't been a thorough investigation. Take a look.
Everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together. I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, the prosecuting team. I've seen it all.
Then she addressed Candace Owens, who has launched her own investigation into the killing.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Here's how Candace responded to Erica's pleas for her to stop lying.
I would like to honor that, okay? I can only honor that if Erica is more explicit in terms of what I have lied about. What did I lie about? It's just incredible. There have this opportunity. The questions have been preferred. You could just start like going through them. Maybe they will. By the way, it's coming out on Saturday. Maybe I've made a mistake somewhere, and I'm happy. I want to correct that, right? I'm not interested. My goal is not to tell lies. It is obviously plausible that I have made mistakes. I've reviewed these lists that we've put together, and I can't find the lie.
And now it looks like the two will attempt to hash things out in a private meeting today. Candace Owens posted on Twitter earlier today, I'm very much looking forward to this discussion. No word on how that went, but there's more. Janik, I want to bring you in here. What do you make of this back and forth so far?
All right, so first of all, the fact that Barry Weiss is doing this interview in the first place is some sign. So people at CBS were like, oh, you know, David Ellison's got to realize this was a mistake to put Barry Weiss in charge here because she's the editor-in-chief. She's not supposed to be on camera. She's supposed to be coordinating things behind the scenes. No, guys. David Ellison hired Barry Weiss to do exactly this. He said, you know, when they bought Free Press for $150 million and they massively overpaid, they said it was because Barry Weiss was pro-Israel. So she didn't trust any of her reporters to do the propaganda right here, because what if they asked the wrong question of Erica Kirk and it left them in a difficult situation? So Barry had to handle it herself to make sure that no one thinks that it's anyone but Tyler Robinson. So let's go over the details here. Now, guys, you've seen me on the air for 23 years. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. I don't know how the planes should be going into buildings or not. I don't know what temperature the steel melts, et cetera, okay? But when I look at a case, I go, okay, is it logical or is it not logical? So as we've told you many times with Epstein, did he kill himself or was it suicide? Well, are the guards on duty? Were the cameras working? The camera's not working, the guard's not on duty, that's not a suicide. That's just logic, that's obvious, okay? The only way that you would think, oh, no, I believe the government is if you just have been brainwashed your whole life, the government is your friend and it never lies and they don't care about their own power. All they want to do is represent you earnestly. Okay, if you believe that, God bless your heart, okay? So now in this case, all right, well, I mean, it seems like an open and shut case, right? I mean, the guy conveniently left a rifle and bullets that were not used and engraved. I did this because I don't like fascists. I am a left winger. I don't like right wing. Okay, here is why I am doing it. And then he sent a bunch of texts going, now remember, it wasn't anyone else, it was just me. Okay, that seems so convenient that it makes me wonder. But if it was just that, no. But look at all the different things that are here. So they say that he disassembled a rifle on the roof, went down, ran into the woods and reassembled it and left the engraved bullets right there for the authorities to find. Well, that is an awfully strange thing for someone to do, right? So he took only one shot. Almost every time when it's a rando, they spray the place. But this professional takes one shot, hits him in the neck, knows he's got him, and then runs right down. Interesting. And as he's running down, he's got a baseball cap. He knows where every camera is, and he looks down so that you can't see his face in every single camera shot. Well, that seems awfully professional, but what's weird is that the kind of rifle that was Tyler Robinson's grandpa's rifle would blow someone's head off. But the bullet stopped in Charlie's neck, and their explanation was that Charlie has a miraculous neck.
A miraculous neck? Really? Folks, you cannot make this stuff up. I mean, seriously, are we supposed to believe that Charlie Kirk had some kind of superhero level cervix? That's crazy, that his neck was forged in the fires of Mount Doom? What, are you kidding me? This isn't a Marvel movie, this is supposed to be a real life investigation. And if the official explanation requires us to believe in miracles and acts of God, then maybe, just maybe, their explanation is about as solid as a wet paper bag. This miraculous neck claim isn't just a minor detail. It's a glaring cartoonish hole in the official story. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder if the people presenting this narrative are actually trying to insult our intelligence. It's like saying that Titanic sank because the icebergs were actually made of kryptonite and only Superman could have stopped it. It completely undermines any credibility they might have had. When they're building a case, every bit of evidence should fit perfect. It should be logical. It shouldn't be crazy or non-coherent. It should be a believable narrative. Because when you start throwing in miraculous explanations for physical impossibilities, you're not building a case, you're building a fairy tale. And frankly, I stopped believing in fairy tales when I was about 5 years old. Right around the time I realized Santa Claus wasn't real and politicians lie. This isn't about being a conspiracy theorist for the sake of it. This is about applying basic common sense. If a bullet from a high-powered rifle hits somebody in the neck, there's generally an exit wound. That's how physics works. That's not an autonomy works. To suggest otherwise without specific or forensic backing behind it is crazy. It's just unconvincing. It's frankly insulting. It tells me that you don't have a better explanation and that you're hoping for people to be so gullible and so intimidated to not call anything out.
Okay, I'm out now. Okay, that God made the bullet stop because Charlie's neck was so strong. No, that didn't happen. So then you got guys we saw the videos. This is not a conspiratorial thing where, oh yeah, people are pretending. No, you see guys making hand signs in the crowd. Okay, well, now it got way more complicated. Maybe there's a good reason for the hand signs. Maybe they saw a baseball game in the background and they're like, okay, hey, and they're doing signals to the third base coach. I don't know, but I want to know what the signals were. A guy from TPUSA is right next to Charlie. Charlie gets shot. We showed you the video earlier. He calmly gets on his phone and calmly walks away. If I see one of my friends get shot, I'm not going, oh, okay, that is interesting. I will now call someone, inform them, and I will calmly walk away. It's a super weird reaction. Saying that it's not super weird makes me think, oh, wait, do you know something I don't know? Because if that was my friend, I would say, everything I just described to you is super weird and I would want further answers. But apparently Erica doesn't want further answers. And Barry Weiss, the journalist at CBS says, now remember everyone, believe the official story and do not dare ask any questions, okay? Because journalists never ask questions. We just accept everything at face value. Do we? Is that what journalists do? But wait a minute. All of this pales in comparison to a recent clip that I saw, and I'm sorry that I missed it earlier. We'll probably do it on another show. But do you know that the authorities said that Tyler Robinson changed clothes on the roof twice? That he had different clothes going up to the roof, changed clothes on the roof, changed back, and then walked back down in different clothes? No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Okay, hold the phone. He changed clothes twice on the roof? So let me get this straight. This alleged assassin, Tyler Robinson, is a master of disguise, a fashionista ninja, who now only scales buildings like Spider-Man, but also performs costume changes mid-mission? This isn't a murder investigation. It's a bad spy movie script. This detail, like the miraculous neck before it, isn't just an inconsistency, it's a full-blown clown show. Imagine the scene. Tyler Robinson, rifle in hand, pauses on the roof of a college campus he doesn't even attend to swap outfits. First, he's in his stealth accent attire. Then he changes into his sniper chic ensemble, only to then change back into his casual getaway clothes before descending. Was there a stylist up there, a dressing room? Did he have a portable wardrobe? This is beyond ridiculous. This isn't the behavior of a professional assassin, and it's certainly not the behavior of a panicked amateur trying to escape. This is the behavior of someone in a poorly written screenplay, or more accurately, the behavior attributed to somebody by authorities trying to stitch together a narrative that simply doesn't hold water. It's a desperate attempt to explain away inconvenient facts, and it just creates more questions than answers.
That's not a thing that happened. So I don't know what the real story is, but I know the official story has a million problems with it. And so now I look at Erica Kirk, who should be asking a ton of rational questions, and she's adamantly not asking them. And I see the biggest propagandists in American media telling everybody, now remember everybody, this is an open and shut case. I don't want any questions. I don't even want a reporter doing this because they might accidentally ask a good question. No, now I'm super concerned about who actually shot Charlie Kirk. It could still be Tyler Robinson, of course, but do I trust the government? What they've said now so far is preposterous. Doesn't sound anywhere near true.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't know. I don't feel like I couldn't speak from authority on what actually happened, but I think we're in agreement. We can't trust this government to get to the bottom of the case. Kash Patel and the FBI have botched this from the start. Others might take that further, but I'm with you. It's not clear, and it's because of this administration.
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But were any of them engaged in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely, I can't make that. I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover-up.
Candace Owens had an hour-long interview with Piers Morgan, which was published just today. And the whole topic of conversation had to do with various conspiracy theories surrounding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, this sit-down interview came about a day after Candace Owens met with Erica Kirk in private. We don't know and are not privy to the specific details of the discussion other than what Candace Owens has disclosed publicly. And she did get into a few details in the context of this Piers Morgan interview. But the real question is, after that meeting with Erica Kirk, was she persuaded that Tyler Robinson is in fact the individual who pulled the trigger and killed Charlie Kirk? Is she going to continue her sleuthing and her investigation? Is she doing this to make money? All of those themes and topics were explored in the context of this interview. Let's watch.
I said, I'm happy to keep my mouth shut. And I want to feel good walking out of here that there is something there. There is some sort of a smoking gun. And I will tell viewers just to be patient. And so they did call one of the lawyers working on this case, and it was not convincing at all. He said, in effect, all we have is what the public has seen. And we won't know more because we're investigating and looking for more. They don't have a video of him taking the shot, which I think was something that I assumed, like, okay, there's all these cameras. Maybe they actually have that video and they're waiting for a moment to release that to the public. They don't have that.
Do you believe, as a consequence of your 4.5 hours with Erica, do you believe that it is now most likely that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk?
Absolutely not. I haven't seen one piece of compelling evidence that Tyler Robinson scaled the rooftops like Spider-Man on a college campus that he didn't go to, and fired one shot, a magic bullet shot, and killed Charlie Kirk. I have not seen one piece of compelling evidence. In fact, I've seen more compelling evidence to the contrary.
So a lot has been made about the way Charlie Kirk was shot, at least as is described by the official narrative. I'm uncomfortable commenting on that because I'm not an expert. And based on the experts that I've heard talk about, the angle in which he was shot from, the weapon that was used, whether or not that type of round can hit Charlie Kirk's neck without an exit wound. There have been experts who have argued on both sides of this specific issue. So I feel uncomfortable commenting on that at this point. Okay. I'm not a weapons expert. I'm not a ballistics expert. However, there are some questions. Like, do you guys remember the first person that we all thought was the suspect? I forget the name of the guy, but the older gentleman who seems to be on the scene when all these traumatic things happen. He was the one saying that he did it. And then later, when he was pulled in for questioning, he told the police that he did it specifically to allow the perpetrator to get away. What was that? Like, why would he do that? Why would that guy literally put his life on the line, risk his life to claim that he committed an assassination he didn't commit? Like, I want more clarity on that. So she says, I met with Erica Kirk. I didn't see anything, any piece of evidence from them. And remember, they're meeting privately. And Candace Owens has said on her show, if anything was presented to me in that private meeting that would jeopardize the investigation and the case, I would not talk about it publicly. And I do think she really wants to find who killed Charlie Kirk. I do think that's what's motivating her. However, she claims they didn't share anything with me that was convincing. And in fact, she claims when I asked them, what do you have? They allegedly, this is what she's saying, we weren't in the meeting, but she alleges they have really no information outside of what the public already knows. Now, she could be lying, or they might be lying to her if they did in fact say that in the context of the meeting. We just don't know. But what I personally want is more clarity on what her theory is. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if at the time when I was watching her show to try to figure out, like, what is she actually saying, it was the most confusing thing in the world because there's so many different threads that she's pulling at, and they don't seem to really be connected. There's the Egyptian planes allegedly following Erica Kirk around. Then there's this stuff about the DuPonts. Then there's this stuff about Pierre, and then there's another Pierre. And I just had a hard time following along and figuring out, okay, what is your theory here?
Final thoughts. And there you have it, folks. A case that, according to some, should be open and shut, but instead riddled with more plot holes than a daytime soap opera. From miraculous necks to rooftop costume changes, the official narrative surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination is less about justice and more about the desperate attempt to control public perception. We've seen how the media and even those claiming to seek truth can become complicit in pushing a narrative rather than genuinely investigating. It's a stark reminder that critical thinking isn't just a good thing, it's essential. Don't let anyone tell you to shut up and don't question. That's when you should question even harder. What do you think? Are you buying what the authorities are selling? Or are you, like us, demanding more logic, coherent answers? Let us know in the comments below. And if you appreciate us digging into these stories and calling out absurdities, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Keep questioning everything, because that's how we get to the real truth.